Hey guys, it's Generic. Welcome back to my channel. Today we will be doing code.org Express Course 2021, all the questions in lesson 18. So let's get started. Question 1 just says, get the angry bird to the pig. If you've been doing these lessons with me, this should be pretty straightforward. You're just going to go forward, left, and left. There are a couple of different ways you could do that, but we are going to use conditionals since that's what we've been learning the last few lessons, and use this while path ahead. It also has a drop down where it says while there is a pile and while there is a hole, which we will get to in future questions up over here. But for while path ahead, it's just going to keep looking every space. Is there a path ahead? Yep. Is there a path ahead? Yep. And we want it to just keep moving. Once it reaches the end of the path, we want it to turn left because it is the bird's left. Oops. There we go. And then we want it to do one of two things. Either repeat that 3 times, which would work. So let's try that one out really fast because there are 3 sides or 3 paths. Oops, not 53. So he's going to move forward. When he can't move forward anymore, he'll turn left and he'll do it again. And then this is the 3rd time. He should turn left at the end and then he'll stop. You could also put that same code in another while path ahead instead, and it would work the same way. And here's why you might even want to do that. Let's say sometimes the pig is not here. Sometimes he is in a spiral down here or further in here or up here, and you have to continue going and maybe the pig moves. You can tell it while path ahead to keep going. So what it's going to do is it's going to say, is there a path ahead? Yep, 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 yep. Nope, turn left. And then it's going to look again if there's a path ahead to see if it should keep doing this stuff. And there will be. So then it will do this stuff again. So you're kind of nesting a conditional inside a conditional. If this stuff is getting a bit confusing to you, 1, it's totally fine to use a repeat 3 times instead. And 2, please know, I'm not really sure of the age of the people who are doing this, but these are some higher level analytical skills that are required for this. These lessons are intended a little bit more for high school level students. And so if you have not had those analytical skills taught to you, if you haven't had a little bit of, maybe some beginning algebra or at least some pre-algebra, some of these things might be getting frustrating, but we're going to get you there. So don't give up. Let's run that so you can see how it'll work the same as that repeat 3. And there's his 3rd turn. And he gets to the pig the same way because when his path ends, he turns left, but there is no more path. So he cannot continue on his outside conditional on this one. Number 2 is a video. It says repeat until statements, which we are going to see on question 3. Question 3 is a multiple choice, so go ahead and kind of determine what's going to happen with that. I've had a couple people in the comments say that they would love to see me actually work these ones out. For my students in person, as opposed to you guys on YouTube online, I usually like to not give them any assistance so we can kind of gauge if they're actually understanding these or not, but I decided I will do some of them. So let's go ahead and do this one together. It says, take a close look at the code below. What do you think will happen when you click run? So the code below says repeat until pig. So it's going to do whatever's inside there until it gets to this pig. While path ahead, it's going to move forward. When the path stops, it's going to move left, which is pretty much what we just did on the last question. But instead of saying while path ahead on the outside or repeat 3, it says repeat until pig. So it's going to go forward, turn left, go forward, turn left, and then go forward, turn left at the end, and it will be at the pig. So it says the bird will not move at all. The bird will make it to the pig. The bird will not move forward and run into the TNT, or the bird turns the wrong way. I don't think it can run into the TNT. I actually haven't tested this one because it won't let you run it, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to make it all the way to the pig. So let's run it. The TNT blocks it, right? Yep. Then we're correct. It's going to go down there to the pig. So the correct answer would be B. So let's go on to number 4. On 4, it says get the bird to the pig, and you have these sort of stairs. So you can use this repeat until pig and then tell it what to do. You want it to move forward, turn right, move forward, and turn left. And that would make one step on these stairs. So it would move forward, turn right, so it's facing down, move forward, turn left, so it's facing this way again. So that's one step, and it needs to do it 2, 3, 4, 5 times. But instead of using a repeat 5, we're just going to use this repeat until pig because it reaches the pig. That way, if the pig were to move, which is much more realistic in a game, and sometimes be here and sometimes be here, no matter what, it would just stop when it reaches the pig. Let's go ahead and run that. And we'll see it get all the way down there. And you can see that that's 6 out of 6 blocks. Some students must have a hard time with that one, though, because they have 4 different hints up here. And feel free to use those. There's nothing wrong with that. Just like watching these videos. In my opinion, this is definitely not cheating. It's kind of like if you have a math book and you look in the back for the odd answers. A lot of times math books will do like all the odd or all the even answers in the back to kind of tell you if you're on the right track. So you can try it on your own. And then if you can't get it, you have the answer and you can kind of work backwards from it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's how you're actually going to learn. If you're just getting the answers from these videos, though, it's going to be really difficult to actually use that knowledge to make anything on your own unless you understand the concepts behind them. So make sure you're, following along and not just fast forwarding to the answers at the end. But you're going to do whatever you want to do. That's my advice. So here we go. There are stairs going up, and we've got some Plants vs. Zombies characters instead of the Angry Birds, but it's exactly the same otherwise. He needs to move forward, and in this case, go left, then forward right to do one step. So we can do repeat until flower, forward, left, maybe if we can get them to go in there, and then forward right, and that would do one of the steps. And we would either need to put that into a repeat, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or just repeat until flower, which makes it all the way up there to the top. While that's going, by the way, the whole reason I started recording these and posting them on YouTube, all these lessons, is because I had students who were going to YouTube anyway and finding, hang on, let's wait for the zombies so you guys can hear me. And finding other YouTubers' explanations of these and answers, and a lot of them didn't explain them accurately, or they didn't know why that answer worked. They just made a teacher account for themselves to get the answers. And I really think that this is a useful tool to be able to understand how to code. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go through and make them all myself. Since I'm explaining them over and over to my students anyway, I might as well put them out there on YouTube for other students that don't have me as their teacher. And there are also a lot of adults that learn this, and they're not in class with the teacher a lot of the time. Anyway, just thought I'd let you know why I started doing them. So on this one, hold on there, sorry. Trackpad was kind of glitching out again. I did that some in lesson 17 too. On this one, you need to go forward, forward, left, and then forward several more times to the flower. You could do a repeat until flower. What I would do is while path ahead, move forward, because it's going to reach the end of that path and then it can turn left. And then before it reaches the end of this path and can turn left again, it's going to be stopped by the flower anyway, because we use this repeat until flower do these things. So that's one way that you could do it. You could also tell it repeat 2, forward, forward, left, and then repeat 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess. There's lots of different ways you could do this one, but they're looking for you to use these conditionals. So we're going to go ahead and use that repeat until flower and the while path ahead. If you go down here, there's also a if path to the left that you could use instead of the turn left. You could put it down here, but that would be more blocks. Let's go ahead and do this. So he's gone forward, turns left. Now he's going to stop because he's reached his goal. Repeat until flower. All right, number 7. 7 says help the zombie get to the sunflower. It's pretty similar. We're going to repeat until the sunflower. while path ahead move forward, because he always turns at the end of a path. If the path continued down here, we would not be able to do that. We'd have to do it differently. But while path ahead move forward, and then it's 2 right turns, so we don't even need to use an if path. We just know that it's going to turn right. So we can tell it move forward, and at the end of each path, turn right. And it's going to do that 3 times or until it reaches the flower. So we're just going to use that repeat until flower. Move forward and then turn right. Is there a path ahead? Yep. So it's going to move forward. And those little white lines in my mind, are him saying, is there a path ahead? Yes. Is there a path ahead? Yes. Like asking the coded, waiting for the zombie again, asking the coded question over and over again. Is the conditional being met? Is the path ahead? Have I reached the flower? All right. 18, number 8. This time you're doing left-hand turns, but it's still pretty much the same thing. Repeat until flower. While path ahead, move forward. Once it reaches the end of the path, it's going to turn left. We don't really need a conditional because it's always going to be left. We don't need like if path to the left. And it's going to keep doing that all the way to the flower. And that's the 5 blocks it wants us to do it in. And that's the most efficient way I've found. As usual, there are other ways to do it, but they take more blocks. So they're not as efficient. The code will not run as smoothly or as quickly. I kind of misspoke. Sometimes things will still run smoothly, but not as quickly. So you may have 2 different codes that get you to the same exact results, and they will both run smoothly if they are coded well, so they won't glitch or anything. But one will get there faster because it has less code and takes less for it to read it and do it. All right, this is the challenge question on lesson 18, so it's number 9. It says, challenge, avoid the chompers and help the zombie get to the sunflower. So we're doing pretty much the same thing, except if we move forward here and turn left, we are not avoiding the chompers. We are running right into them. And if we turn around and just move forward, we're also going to run into them. So the first thing I usually recommend that students do is turn around twice. So you could either turn right twice or turn left twice, whichever one you want to do. I'm just going to turn right. And that is, of course, going to turn us around 180 degrees. Now that we're facing this way, we need to move forward 1 and turn right again. And now that we're not facing this little chomper, as they call him, so let me show you what I mean. That will take us to here. Now we can use a little bit more of our repeats. So I'm pretty sure we can do a repeat until sunflower, while path ahead, move forward, and he'll go all the way down there. And we can always put our code over here and test it out a bunch too. Don't be afraid to mess around with stuff and try out multiple things. It doesn't matter if you get it right the first time. It just matters if you can eventually figure it out. And you're not going to break it, right? Like as long as you're not pouring water on the computer you're using or smashing it with a hammer, you're not going to break it. You're just coding. You just won't get to where you need to go. You'll have to try again. So that should take him to the end of the path. And then he kind of, if you have him go left, he could go left, 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 if at the end of each path. So this is how I solve this one. I do, while path ahead, move forward. After the path ends, each path, if path to the left, turn left. So what it's going to do is, it's going to get all the way to here. Then it's going to repeat until the flower. While path ahead, move forward. So it's going to go all the way here. No more path ahead. Is there a path to the left? Yes, because that's his left going this way. Then it's going to turn left. And then again, is there a path ahead? Well, first, am I at the flower? No. Is there a path ahead? Yes. And then it's going to go to here. Is there a path to the left? Yes. And it should just keep repeating that until it actually gets to the flower. Let's check and make sure I remembered how to do it correctly, though. I do remember a couple of years ago, they had the same question on, I don't know if it was lesson 18 back then, but, and there's another way to do it. And I just noticed that I did this in 10 out of 9 blocks, and we really need it to be 9 out of 9 blocks. So we do need to make some changes. So although we solved that, if you look up here, it's light green as opposed to these dark green ones. That means that we got to the correct got to the correct space, but we did it with too many blocks. So it's not as efficient, or it's not as quick to run it as we would like. So what do you guys see that I could change? If we had a move backwards block, instead of 2 turns, we could move backwards and then turn left. That would save us some spaces, but we don't. We also know that we have to use 2 move forward blocks because there was a little 2 up here when we started. And that's this one and this one. So we need to keep those. Let's go ahead and see what they did. Sorry, can I get this shrunk? What their solution was. I know there's one where you can go down here because I remember doing it before, but I'm not sure if that's the one they wanted us to do or not. So let's see. They have the same as I did, turn right, move forward, turn right. So they had that. Oh, of course. And then while path ahead, move forward, and then just turn left. So I put if path to the left, turn left. But since they're at the end of each path, you could just put a turn left. You don't need to use that if, which is kind of silly that I didn't think of that because I just told you that a few problems ago. All right, so let's go back and correct my code. And hopefully you guys understand why we're correcting it. So this block right here is superfluous. We do not need it. It is extra. It does the exact same thing if we take off this if path to the left, because at the end of each path, we're going to go left. None of the paths keep going. Oh my goodness, I shouldn't film these. That's why I'm so tired, you guys. I'm sorry. I know you really, really need them though. Some of you were trying to get them done to get a grade for a course. So I said I would try to do 17, 18, and 19 all in one day, but it's kind of a lot. All right, so let's run that. We know we have 9 blocks now. That whole part is the same. This is the same, but instead of if path to the left, there just is one to the left, so we'll use it. And that's how we got off our 10th block. That's how we were able to take it out. There we go, and he's gotten to the flower. So that was our challenge question, and this time it even challenged me a little. Question 10. Help the zombie get to the sunflower. So we need to go whatever way we want, but around over to here. Again, there are multiple ways to do it. The most straightforward way, I would think, would be repeat until flower, while path ahead, move forward. And then at the end of every path, go right, so that he goes forward, then right, forward, then right, forward, and then turns right at the end. He's at the sunflower, he should stop. So we don't really need to concern ourselves with these paths. Let's try that. So he's going to go forward until the end of the path. He's reached it. He's going to turn right. There's a path again, so he's going to keep going. Right. Oh, he's got a path again, so he's going to go again. At the end, he's going to turn, and there's no path. And he's already reached his goal, so he's going to stop right there. All right, guys, and then number 11 is another prediction. So this one, see if you can do on your own. I did the one at the beginning of the lesson. See if you can do this one at the end. As I always say, it's multiple choice, so it's going to go green no matter what you get, and hopefully it's going to help you understand how to predict what the code is going to do. It's one thing to be able to code it yourself. It's another to be able to predict what someone else's code is going to do. If you are going to be debugging someone's game or program, it's an essential skill to be able to look at it and tell what it's going to do without having to run it, because running it may, cause catastrophe depending on what the program is if it's coded incorrectly. So I do still think it's good for you guys to do some of these on your own. Thanks for watching lesson 18, and I will be posting 19 in just a little bit. If you are watching this on the premiere, I'm not doing it as a premiere, but when it's first posted, and I'll see you guys in the next one.